Shout out to Carter. He writes, what are some places to get affordable business and business casual clothing to dress for success? I'm a college student studying finance. I want to dress more professionally. You know what? If I'm being honest with you, I think Marshalls and Ross are good places to get low cost dress clothes. But remember this: it's not about the brand of the clothes; it's about the fit of the clothes. You're going to look most professional. You're going to look best when the clothes fit well. So I'd really focus on that aspect of making sure that the clothes fit. Shout out to Cameron. He writes, Peace of Saints. I have a girl that wanted to take a break. Up, major red flag. I politely accepted because I'm focused on grad school. Advice on her spinning the block via a long text after 6 months. All I replied was salam. Yeah, I mean, if you want to smash, go ahead and smash. But any chick that asks for a break, something ain't right, my boy. And that'll be the same chick that you end up in a long-term relationship with or a marriage with. And she's going to want to, separate and do all this weird stuff. She's going to divorce you. That's that girl. A woman who's about you is not ever going to even consider taking a break. That's not a concept. She might get mad at you and maybe like go stay in a hotel for a night. She might get mad at you, might not want you to stay in the house for a night, but a break is not a concept for a dedicated woman. May I acknowledge via Venmo? Shout out to Hills in supporting the work. Appreciate you. Also, shout out to Badak. He writes message at the email address. Yes, indeed. And I see it here. He writes, glad you're doing well as always. Currently, I'm an analyst / technician in my IT team within a ministry in my province. That's always good. I'm working on big ticket projects and networking with peers and management. Very good. In your recommendation, what other strategies should I employ to land my next role as an intermediate analyst with a pay increase? The average for an intermediate analyst is this amount. May you prosper and continue building. Peace of the saints. The first thing I would do is figure out who is the gatekeeper. So who's the hiring manager for that role? So once I identify who the hiring manager is, I'd be very transparent. Hey, I would like the job title of intermediate analyst. What's the quickest I can get that job and what needs to be done or displayed? Now, the challenge with government work is that often you're on a time schedule and things, you can only come up for review on a, quarterly or on a certain, predetermined schedule. So in as much as that's the case, you have to suffer. But I would ask them, what's the next job? Or I want this job title. You're the hiring manager. What's the quickest I can do it? Are there any other ways? Are there any other loopholes? And also, what do I need to display to get this job? And I would write down those things and I would establish a check-in with them. I would voluntarily say, hey, do you mind if we check back, maybe every 3 weeks just so we can see how I'm adding up on these things? And so when it comes time to get promoted, it's just him like stamping it and everything is already good to go. And sounds like you're doing great and congratulations. And I think government work is great. In America, we've seen how a lot of folks like, I forget who the Republican woman is, the brunette, her name's escaping me. I think it's Nikki Haley. Folks who go into government, they can leverage government to become millionaires, 100 millionaires. And so I think that you're in a good position. I highly recommend you continue growing. And also, when you have products and services on the side, you get to leverage government to advance your products and services. Obviously, please do it as legally as possible, but it's a good position. Shout out to Nathan, who just became a member at patreon.com/the Saint and the Sinner. May I also acknowledge Hector. He writes, tuition. Ben and Candace live was fire. I appreciate that. Shout out to Jonathan. He writes, oh, appreciate that. What's that? Okay, for sure. I didn't even realize that was the case. That was unfortunate. Thank you. That's a good eye. That's love right there. Cam writes, when is the next call-in show searching for solutions? Oh, he's talking about this kind of a business show, I trust, right? Understood. I need to ponder on that. I think it'd probably be nice to run these on Sunday, but I'm not sure that I want to put two shows on one day just for my own personal time. But let's say we should do this at least once a week. So you'll see me back on this topic at least once a week. Fantastic. Number 5, key to success, financial success, especially in business, is persistence, particularly pushing the product or service. And we usually like to talk about product based business, pushing it to success or to failure. Doesn't really even matter which side it falls on, because if it falls on the side of success, then we're going to start optimizing to figure out how we can make more money out of it. If it falls on the side of failure, then we're just going to go through the process again with a different product. And that's okay. Doesn't really matter. But the key is pushing it all the way to the end. Most often what happens is that people, they have a product and they think that it's failing when really it's not failing. You've just not figured out the appropriate strategy for it. For example, for those of you who are taking the course called How to Create and Monetize Your Own App, there's a number of things we figured out throughout the course of putting this product in the marketplace. So for example, we put a product in the marketplace that allows vendors to sign up on our website and get paid. A part of the sign up process for a vendor is that they have to put their information to get paid. Initially, the way we did it the first time is they have to actually put in banking information, significant amounts of information, their name, their address, their routing number, their account number, and so on. And we found that that was cumbersome, and it was causing people to not complete the process. Whereas we changed it and we put it so that they just have to put in their Cash App or their PayPal. That's it. So we reduce it from like a whole form to just one entry. And that is radically going to change our ability to onboard vendors. So those are the kind of tweaks that you make to increase or rather reduce the friction that your users experience on your technology. I say that to point out to you, we didn't say, oh, this is a fail, vendors aren't signing up or vendors aren't completing the sign up process. We said our sign up process is too cumbersome. The product's not a fail. This process is a fail. We optimized that technical process, and now we're going to put the product back into the market to see how people like it. And you have to push the thing all the way to failure or success. But on the process of pushing a product to failure or success, you have to tweak it so that you're giving the market your best offering. And I'm not saying your best offering in terms of the beauty of the product, but the core functionality of the product, what's called the unique value add. Most people give up too early, or they start on the wrong thing. They give up too early, or they start on the wrong thing, which is why when people ask me, hey, Marquett, should I do a food truck? No, you shouldn't. Marquett, should I do a clothing company? Absolutely not. They start on the wrong thing. What were you saying? Yeah. And if people want to call in, you can send in your super chat and you can call in if you had a particular business product that you need a quick review on or a quick question. What's that? 20. Yeah. Yeah. Send in your $20 and you can come on, ask your quick question or show your product. And there have been a number of times we've reviewed folks who have, websites or a particular business model that they needed to work out. And the revenue model, how do you make money, is really the only question of any product. If you can't get that question answered correctly for yourself, you're not going to have a good business. And remember, business is about making money. It's all great when people are like, oh, this business is about, it's my life work. That's great, but it needs to make money. Okay. All this hokey stuff you hear online when people say things like, you need to do what your passion is. Nah, screw that. Most young men nowadays, their passion is playing video games and beating your meat. And I assure you, no one's going to pay you to do that. Now, if for some reason you're an extraordinary nerd and you can get paid for playing video games, by all means, do it. But that's a minuscule percentage of you. Everyone else, you need to find ways to offer value to the marketplace. Now, I want you to do this. Focus on the money, not the product. I was talking to a saint in a consultation recently. He's very product focused, which is fine. But I'm very money focused because it's business. So I don't care about the product for the most part, especially if I'm broke and I'm young, I care even less about the product. I care more about the money. If I'm established, then I care more about the product. I have the luxury of doing that. I have a friend, Mark Pfeiffer, whom I reference every now and then. We went to university together. We're good friends. He joined the fraternity that I founded. We have a long history. He's a good businessman, very solid in real estate and e-commerce. And Mark cares nothing about product. Now, I'll give you an example of how you know Mark cares nothing about the product and wholly about the money. Mark has a number of products that are just very strange. For example, one of his products is a potter. Is that what that's called? A potter? Potter? Yeah, I don't even know what it's called, but it's basically it's a clay pot that looks like a face. So it's a clay pot that looks like a face that you hang on the wall that you put a plant in. So it's basically a plant holder that looks like a face that you hang on the wall. That's one of his products. Like Mark, like, or Mark, well, why do you have this product? Like, do you grow plants or something? No. Okay. He has another product. It was called what was that green rubber one? Yeah, it's like an Instapot. It was like something used for like boiling food or something like that, or like straining food, straining water out of like spaghetti or something. Coriander. Okay, well, whatever. He had some cooking tool, right? It's like a rubber cooking tool. I was like, Mark, what do you use this tool when you cook? He's like, no, I don't cook at all. Why do you sell this? Because it makes money. It makes money. I'm selling 800 of these per month. It makes a lot of money. And I like that about Mark. Mark doesn't care what the product is. He has the most peculiar products. And I think it's conference 2 footage. He talks about how to select a product. And he uses search engine, he uses techniques to identify which searches are being searched at a high volume. So when users go on to Amazon and they're looking for something and there's a high volume of search queries, but there's a low population of results, there's not enough products being offered in that category. So if he sees like a lot of people are searching for this product, but there's not enough of these products, I'm going to create one and sell it. And he doesn't care what the product is. So he's very money focused. And that's a beautiful thing. I love to see. And as a result, he's been very successful, and he uses the data to guide his product development and his profitability. You should all be money focused. You are not going to win at the highest level unless you're ruthlessly money focused. And I want you all to increase your money consciousness. Don't allow money to be your God. As you probably all know, I'm a very spiritual man, and money is definitely not everything to me. Hell, I like making money more than I like having or spending money. I enjoy the actual process of making money. That I enjoy. I like that game. It's a fun hobby to me. So be very money conscious. It's not about the product. It's not about the business. It's about the money. That's what it needs to be in your head. Biography writes, okay. Are there any saints or anyone that you know that has a legitimate cybersecurity training program that I may partake in? After completing the training, I'll help any way I can cybersecurity related. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. We do have Joshua, actually, the guy who's always sending baller alerts. He's not specifically on the cybersecurity side as far as I know, but I know he's legit in as much as he's a legitimate military man who learned these skills within the military and ascended very high in the military. He's also been training and teaching this for some time. And more importantly, he's actually trained a number of saints who have gotten their certs and gotten jobs. And I personally know them. They're in Saint City. So we can sign off on that. You dig? So if you would send me an email to the email address below, I can connect you with Joshua. I'd be happy to make that introduction. And mind you, Saints, for me, it's an honor to make good introductions, especially because I'm putting my name on the line anytime I make an introduction. So I never make introductions or recommend things that are not vetted, tried, and true. Shout out to Wayne. He writes, "Can I get the link?" Okay, sure. Sure, I'd be happy to take a look at your LinkedIn profile. Did he share the link? What'd you say? Right. That's crazy. Is that his government name? Is that his government name? Okay. So we dropped the link for Wayne or Creon. Thank you. We'll give you guys about 30 seconds, get you tuned up real nice. May I also acknowledge Justice, who is a member at assassin.com. We appreciate you. Wayne, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Fine. How are you?
I'm well. Peace of the Saints.
Uh, this is my phone company. A phone company, but reselling company. I'm going to put it in the chat.
It's a website.
No, no. Page. Instagram page.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't copy and paste, so why don't you tell me the handle and I'll go ahead
Silum.
and
Silum.
one moment.
All right.
Okay, so give me a sec. I'm going to screen share as I type it in just so that you can see. Like me, when I have products or websites, I always want to know how they're ranking. So go ahead and spell it for me.
Silum.
Silum.
Yeah.
Okay.
The third one.
This one here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So number three. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. There we go.
That's
Okay. So let's see. So presumably this is your logo.
yeah.
Generally, what I like to do with logos is I either like to have the image, like the app icon, or the words, like one or the other, usually not both. But especially in this case, you got some the text is
Yeah.
a bit small. It says store and repairs, just think slum. Or is that
Silum.
Asylum? Okay. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's obviously too small, but yeah, that's fine. Anyway, so 30 posts, three nearly 4,000 followers, three following. That's neat. Product, we will always find a way. So you have your tagline there. We will also do phone repair. Okay, so I probably would remove the first tagline in as much as it doesn't mean anything. We also do phone repair. I probably put precisely what you do. So you do phone repair and what else?
Selling. Phone selling.
Okay, so I would like what kind of phones do you sell?
Mainly iPhones.
Mainly iPhones. Okay, so that would be something I'd want to know in the description, right? So off rip, one thing you want listed is we sell and repair iPhones. Full stop.
Yeah.
Boom. We sell and repair iPhones. Why do you have more than one contact number?
It's three of us.
Cool. Okay, that's fine. And
Yeah.
all three of you are, comparably competent. It doesn't matter who they talk to. It's all good.
They're competent.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. Oh, you're in Guyana.
Yeah.
Very good. Shout out. Um, oh, that was you asking me about the potential conflict with Venezuela.
It's tomorrow, It's tomorrow is the referendum.
I'm gonna keep an eye on you. I got to slide over to Georgetown sometime soon. Okay, so you got 30 posts. I'm gonna go down to the bottom because that's just kind of character I am. So
Uh-huh.
go down to the bottom.
That
So
was that was the first post.
okay, so fully unlocked or use. Okay, so this is a phone for sale.
Yeah.
Great, and these are phones for sale.
Yeah, yeah. Each if you go to the second slide on each post, you're gonna see me displaying the phones. Second slide.
I don't see the slide.
Oh, oh shucks.
I'll go
Press
to
X
maybe
on the
some
one.
new ones. I'll go to a new
Yeah,
one.
the new ones. Yeah, the new ones.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah,
So I think the black glove is a nice touch, show that you have like respect for the product and like
yeah,
keep the product pristine. So I think that's very smart, good looking stuff. So just full displaying the product. I think that's good. One thing I would also consider doing is because these are all currently available, right?
yeah.
Okay. So one thing that you also might consider is when it's sold, because I used to shop a lot for rare cars. And when you're shopping for rare cars, what they'll have on the catalogs that you look at is they'll have all of their current inventory, but they'll also have like this dope car that you really want. And then across it, it'll say sold. It'll have like red and it'll say sold, which lets you know that A, they're actually selling the cars. People are paying the price that they're asking for, number one. And then number two, that you have to hurry up. There's scarcity because someone might buy it before you buy it.
The problem with Instagram is that when you boost it a time, afterwards you can't edit the post. You can't. You just can't. I
Tried
tried before. Yeah,
So it will be
you
a
have.
new post. Yeah. So you're actually you're actually putting paid. You're sponsoring these ones.
Yeah, the older ones get sponsored, but now it's natural growth. But
Organic.
yeah,
Yeah. No, I think
organic.
that makes perfect sense. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with. And the good thing too is that when you add that additional post, you're getting an additional touch point with the consumer. So you're putting out more, you're reminding the consumer that you exist. So even if it doesn't get as many eyeballs and it's saying sold, so it's not an opportunity for them to buy anything anyway. So I definitely wouldn't run an ad unit on it, but you're getting another touch point with the consumer. And that's the goal, is to make the consumer constantly aware of you. This is why sometimes you ever like sign up on a website or buy something and then all of a sudden you're getting a bunch of advertisements like that are talking about like, oh, like, hey, by the way, like we're having this sale, or by the way, fill in the blank.
Alibaba does that a lot. Alibaba does
Exactly.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're basically just giving a touch point to remind you that they exist, not because you might buy another cell phone, but maybe your brother was just looking for a cell phone, or maybe it's Christmas and you're not going to get one for yourself, but you're going to get one for someone else. And so increasing those touch points is always favorable to a business.
Uh-huh.
But cool. Yeah. I think all in all, I think things look pretty good. You for what you're doing, I think this is really neat. Obviously, there's less focus, it looks like, on the actual repair business.
Yeah.
There's
Mainly.
more, yeah, it's mainly on the sales business, which is fine. And I'm assuming that screen repair is probably your primary business on the side of repairs. Is that right?
Yeah. Screen repairs is the most things. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it looks like it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Congratulations on your success. Now, what would make you more successful?
Well, for me, it has to be getting a location which will solidify we and make people trust us more, which is the main problem at the moment with
You're
us.
saying a physical location.
Yeah, physical location. That's the main problem.
I'm gonna challenge you to think harder than that. Um, you can make people trust you more by
Oh,
utilizing testimonials. Like, for example, if someone buys phones from you, whether you had that sold one and then they swipe, and then it's like so and so, like, oh, hey, I got this phone from Wayne and his company. I just want to say thanks. Or I got this phone. It was listed, it was retailing for 1,000. Wayne gave it to me for 800. Just want to say thanks. Or, those are the things that can drive trust. But when you get a brick and mortar location, you're investing more money in things that are not going to make more money. You have to have, I don't know if you're going to pay electricity. I don't know how things are in Guyana, but you have a storefront, you have physical space. You don't want to be brick and mortar. You want to be online. So there are better ways to drive profit margins. Wayne, thank you for coming on. It's a pleasure to meet you, Saint. And God willing, one day I touch down in Guyana. Is that about you around Guyana, I trust? Or around Georgetown?
yeah.
Yeah, God willing. God
Yeah.
willing. I heard the
First
beaches
one.
are not too beautiful there.
Huh? Nah. No, you gotta go. You have to go in the interior, not in Jarshong. Jarshong, the beach is brown and full of garbage. When you go in the interior, though, the interior is like by the Amazon rainforest. When you go there, it's beautiful. Jarshong is nasty, though.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you straight up, it's
that hurts
nasty,
my
but
heart.
it's getting beautiful. It's getting better by the day. It's
And
getting
you
better.
guys have one of my favorite scholars, Dr. Ivan von Sertima.
Never heard of him.
You never heard? Oh,
Oh, never heard of him.
look, bruh. Listen, man. When you finish this live set, you look up Dr. Ivan von Sertima. He's now deceased, but he's probably one of the most famous Guyanese in terms of academia. But until next time, it was a pleasure to meet you, Wayne. Peace to the saints.
To the sense.
Okay, who wanted me to look at their LinkedIn? Okay.
Oh, wow. Hello. Hi. Nice to meet you.
Peace of the Saints. You had wanted us to look at your LinkedIn?
I did. And
Okay.
there's a few things that, a few questions that I have. The first thing is that I majored in accounting, and that's a little bit of a regret of mine because not because I don't think accounting is a great major, but in the future, I don't think it's going to hold up. I think a lot of us are going to be replaced. So I wish I majored in comp sci or something like that, but I didn't, and I'm not going to go back to college
Right.
and spend more money. So that's one thing. The second thing is I do have experience. I'm currently a banker at Capital One,
Okay.
but I'm a little bit on the edge about what I should do next, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So, number one, when you're within a large corporation, and I know this to be a fact because I used to give lectures and do
Turn
training
my
for
light
such
on.
corporations. So, for example, with Procter and Gamble, right? Very big corporation. For people like, what's Procter and Gamble? They produce your soap, your Kleenex, your toiletries, your cleaning products. Is that about right? Hand sanitizer, pretty much everything that you would use in a kitchen is made by Procter and Gamble, very large, wealthy corporation. And so what they'll often do is they'll allow for intrapreneurship, which is to say current employees within this large corporation to learn how to innovate within the corporation. And so there's usually innovation labs within any major corporation. And so you have an accounting background, you're within Capital One, big bank, institution. And so if I were you, I'd be trying to figure out how can I wiggle my way into that fintech side of things where they have the bleeding edge opportunities. So what you want to do is leverage your accounting skills or background to either do it as an entrepreneur within Capital One or figure out what their innovation lab opportunity is. And they got to have one, especially for young folks, especially someone of color, as they might call it. They got to have something. Or I would look at going into a startup that's going to need someone on the accounting side, but really probably can't properly afford it. You might go in as their CFO, a chief financial officer, and work for a finance focused tech startup and then figure out how you can, parlay your opportunity from there. But you're right. You're very wise to know that the accounting profession is going to experience some contraction. And more importantly, American firms are using accountants in India. I know this because when I was running a tech company in the education industry, we were working with the Chartered Accountants of India, which is an enormous institution, and they do a lot of remote work. And so, in as much as that's the case, you're always going to be in a competitive state where they're going to lower your wages. So, you're wise. But accounting is a good degree. It makes sure that you're a person who has, as they say, your numbers together and you're diligent. And so I think that's a good foundational degree. And honestly, a bachelor's doesn't make you a specialist anyway. So I don't think it matters too much.
True, true. And I just have one more question once you review or after you review my LinkedIn or before. Should I ask it now or
Yeah, go ahead.
so when I was 18, I was doing a lot of stupid things, a lot of foolish things, and like going out, way too involved with females in general, and doing a lot of stupid things, and I kind of ruined my credit. So how would I go about building things quickly? Because right now I have probably like $30,000 saved up, but because my credit isn't so good, there's not much I could do with it besides invest. I was doing things like renting Airbnbs with my brother, renting like hotels because I was living with my mom, and that's how I was getting around. And I regret it, but it's my
No.
reality now. So
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with that. And for the most part, credit can be useful. Most of the things that you're absolutely going to need credit for, you'll still have access to, even with a terrible credit score. So, for example, if you wanted to purchase a home, you're a young man. If you were to purchase a home, it'd probably be somewhere within, no more than $250,000, $250,000, which, as far as home prices go, is very low. And that being the case, there's an underlying asset. So the bank is willing to take a greater risk on you because there's an asset that they can seize if you screw up. One thing you won't be able to get are personal loans, right? Like if you're like, hey, I need 10,000 in cash, or I need 100,000 in cash to do fill in the blank with, and no, you're not going to be granted that. You'd be granted a mortgage, less than favorable interest rate, which is fine because buying a house is generally a good thing. So there's nothing to worry about there. If you wanted to get an auto loan for a car, you can still get an auto loan because there's an underlying, I don't like using the word asset, but there's something for the loan maker to repossess. So you'll still be able to get a loan for a car. You'll just have higher monthly payments than you would have otherwise. And truth be told, at your age, there's really no need to get a car with payments. You buy a piece of crap for $4,000 that runs reasonably well and carry on from there. If you're in a city that you need a car, like Los Angeles or a city in Texas. Otherwise, well, what would you need credit for? And these are the important questions we have to ask ourselves, because sometimes, like, we allow the quote unquote matrix or the establishment to make us think things are important that are not important. Credit is useful, but I'd always rather have money than credit. So would I rather have a 800 credit score? Would I rather have $30,000 in cash? Me, I'd rather have $30,000 in cash for sure. An $800 credit score, you can certainly like get a Rolls Royce on credit for sure, but it's still credit. And credit's not money. So what do you feel like you need you should get good credit, and I'll give you some tips on that, but what do you feel like you need credit for?
I don't want to buy a car because I live in New York City, and so there's no reason for
Right.
me to really ever have a car, to be honest. But
Right.
eventually I do want one, but it's not a car that I want. I would like to invest in property.
Right. So there's two things. So if you're going to get a property, and usually what happens with a lot of folks who start on the real estate side is that they're getting a single family detached, or since you're on the East Coast, you might get a row home. And usually you're getting it with a loan under your name. You're not getting it as an investment property. And the major difference is that, you might be able to put down between 0% and 5% on a house that you get under your own name that you're going to occupy theoretically. If it's an investment property, now you all of a sudden have to put up 30%, which is a lot more. And you might need business credit, and you would instead get that house through an LLC rather than your own personal name. And so being that you're a young man, you want to get into the real estate game, you'd probably start with your own, getting a house under your own name, which you can still do with, less than ideal credit. Also, you can have a cosigner. I don't know how much your parents really really support, but you seem like a clean cut young man. You said you live with your parents still. So I'm guessing they trust you at some level. You've completed a degree in accounting, so that's good. So you can probably get them as a cosigner if need be. And real estate's a good game, and New York is a great place to play that game. So I think that you're still good to go. So don't imagine more obstacles than are actually there. That's number one. And here's another crazy piece is that, and you're from the home of Donald Trump. And one thing that Donald is good at is making deals. And what you find out in business is that a lot of it is making deals, whether you call that finessing or finding the back door or doing things in an alternative method. There's so many ways to get things done in business if you're a real hustler, if you're ambitious, and especially if you got a little bit of change to play with. Like, you'd be astounded at how much the banks are wanting to give you a loan as much as you want to get a loan, and they'll pull strings for you. This is what I mean. The whole subprime mortgage crisis was the banks trying to give out as many loans as possible, because that's how banks make money, right? So you need to find a way to get the bank to give you a loan. I'll give you one example. Pro tip, people tend to think that if you're going to get a loan, you need to give your tax records to a bank, which is standard. But there are also banks that will use your bank statements. So they don't need your tax records at all. They'll just look at how much money you've had in your bank for the last 6 months. Most people don't know that. So I say that to say that there's always a way to get something done. If you're willing to do a little bit of research and be crafty, you can make things happen. And if you keep that mindset, you're going to be wildly successful. Trying to do things in the traditional way, or the way everyone else does it, or the way that's popular, that's usually the loser way. Because remember, most people are losers. So whatever is popular or common is usually the worst way to do it. You want to do it the way that people don't even know about, right? That's the way you want to get things done.
Thank you. I appreciate that advice. You're truly knowledgeable.
I appreciate that. So we got this profile. So number one, you got the banner, capital One. That's pretty cool. You have a reasonably, you have a good looking profile photo, nice clean shirt, random background, less than ideal. The photo's a bit pixelated, but honestly, that doesn't matter very much. So I think that one's good enough. You have 43 connections. I would certainly try to increase that. You're in New York, the Big Apple. Everyone on the planet Earth respects that. Let's see. No one really cares about this. More so, people who are really looking to hire you for a high-level position are mostly concerned with your mutual connections. So that's number one, first and foremost. Then they're going to look at your experience. You're a young man, so that's going to be limited. But this is all respectable stuff. And, this kind of thing matters to people who have money. So this is of interest to people. So I think that's a good thing. Shout out to you. Then they look at the education. You took a degree in something legitimate. So that's good. So I think your LinkedIn profile is pretty clean. All I would do is bump it up in two areas in particular, in the skills area. So, you generally want to see some references. So for example, I'll just pop up mine real quick to show you what it should look like. So the skills, you want to bump that up. And then on the connections, you want to bump that one up significantly.
Thank you very much.
Oh yeah. And one second, what'd you say? Oh yeah, and you can have an entire resume on your LinkedIn, bullet point out the notes from each of your jobs would be more helpful. And I'll just show you, let me see if you profile. Now me, I'm never trying to get a job, so I don't really use LinkedIn in a legitimate way. So my profile has had nearly no work into it. If I was searching for a job, I'd probably make some effort on it. But anyways, so a professional photo, which is what you have. By the way, wear a coat. And when you just wear a dress shirt, you tend to not look like the boss. So you want to for sure wear a coat as much as possible. I hate taking my coat off. So you see coat, higher quality photo. Now, obviously, in my case, I'm older than you. I've had more time to do stuff like this. Follower count is significant. Again, I've just had a lot more time than you. And I don't even know what this random stuff is. Probably crazy stuff I'm saying on LinkedIn. This is inconsistent here in terms of how it's formatted. You should care enough to format yours. I don't care because I'm not looking to get employed. Now here's the skills area. So this is important generally depending on what you're trying to do. So having people endorse you, and that's probably going to come more with you expanding your network on there. And also, I think if you endorse other people, they might endorse you back. I don't know because I don't endorse people. But it'll give people a sense of where your skills lie. Obviously, my top one, public speaking and then entrepreneurship. So these are things that I actually do in real life and other people can attest to it. And you can see who's endorsed you, like if those people are actually legit. So those kind of things matter. So those are the two areas I'd look for. Increase your connections and then also increase your endorsements. And then you'll be off to the races. But right now, what I would search for if I were you, you said Capital One. So I'll say Capital One. I'm just going to type in Innovation Labs. They might not even have one by this name, but I'm just curious. Inspires innovation, Capital One Lab, mission to reimagine banking and give us exactly. So let's see. So this is the kind of thing I would look into and figure out, well, how do I get plugged in with this? Like the new things that they're doing where I can, be a factor. We explore the intersection of emerging technology and finance, right? FinTech. That's what I said. This is where you need to be looking. At the lab, our job is blah, 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 blah. So you should try to figure out how do you get involved with this Capital One lab. And you should have a shoe-in as a guy who's 18 or 19, 20, 21, 22 of color and actually works for Capital One. So this is the kind of thing I would look into if I were you. I think that'll be very helpful to you. It's been a pleasure to make your acquaintance, and I appreciate the support.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And honestly, your courage and your ability to just be honest on the internet, I applaud it. Thank you.
I appreciate that. You have a great day.
You too.
Jeremy writes, been currently doing security, pushing my passion in barbering without going to school because I'm cutting hair at my house for free for now. Any advice for new barber? Plan on moving to NYC. I know we have to have a lot of barbers within Assassin, like professional barbers. We absolutely have to. So I'd love for you to be able to get connected with some of those guys. If you're in our Discord, do make a post on that because they will give you the very best industry specific advice on that. But number one, so there's some things that you should go to school for, and there are other things that it's probably just not even necessary like that. Cutting hair, frankly, black guy cutting black men's hair, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I don't think you need to go to school for that. I really don't. Are there regulations in that industry? Maybe, but probably not. I don't think you need to go to school for that. So that's number one. So, and congratulations on you following something that you're passionate about, because it's something that you're passionate about that people are willing to pay for. Obviously, not me. The bald head lover ain't about to pay you, but many people will. So, for example, when he writes, I'm cutting hair at my house for free for now. I hope you don't mean the people whose hair you're cutting are getting a free haircut. I hope you mean that it's free because you're not paying rent as a barber. But if you are cutting people's hair and you're doing a good enough job that they want to come back to you rather than pay a professional, then yeah, you should charge something. Maybe not as much as someone with a proper barber shop, but you should start charging something to test your thesis that you can make money at this. So that's step one. What can I charge these folks? Maybe if a proper haircut within a barber shop is $30, maybe you charge them 20. But you should absolutely get started with that. And he says, my bigger plan is to move to New York City. New York City is very expensive. So you want to make sure that you have a little bit of savings and runway, and also figure out, well, do I have a client base where I currently am? So if you live in Flint, Michigan right now, and you currently got 8 guys whose head you cut for free, then I'd start charging those 8 guys. And if they're paying, then you're like, God, I got 8 regular customers who come to me every 2 weeks. You might want to think twice before you up and leave. You know what I'm saying? So wishing you much success on that. Biography writes, I sent my emails to the supported email link. Would I be able to join the live and converse with the one and only? Yeah, for sure. And no, it doesn't have to be about LinkedIn. We give everyone about 30 seconds to say what they need to say. Shout out to Darren. He writes a message sent to email. Oh, went to my spam. Okay. Good eye. That's a pity. If you were creating a niche product that doesn't exist, would you consider pairing that product with another product with the same niche as the one you created to drive more sales, or sell it individually? Generally, if you're doing something that's worthwhile, you can sell it individually. So generally, if you're doing something that's worthwhile, you can sell it individually. He writes, example, if I created the first knife sharpener, should it be paired with a knife? Fair enough. So if you created the world's first knife sharpener, there's a need for knives to be sharpened. So you're presuming that the consumer already has a knife. So no, I would just sell the knife sharpener. And I would keep things simple for you, because you really want to figure out, how do I master this one thing that I'm doing? And if that one thing that you're doing is offering enough value, and it should be able to offer enough value as a standalone product, you don't need to pair it. And we always want to think very simply about value. Things that are really value to the consumer is going to go get it. The iPhone, they're going to stand in line for it when it comes out. The Jordans, people are going to stand in line for it. Vagina, people are going to be driving on their way to work. Oh, you see a chick that's walking that blade in a short skirt, they're going to pull over. Might even go to work 15 minutes late. They're looking for it. So if there's a real need, people don't need it to be paired with something else to add value. It should have value all alone. It's funny you mentioned a knife sharpener. I recently threw away a steak knife because it was getting dull. Now, I've never sharpened a knife in life. Have you ever sharpened a knife? Never in life? Do you just throw away knives or just buy new ones? You just buy new ones. So that's something to think about. And I don't know if your product is a knife sharpener, but the point is, there's some product categories to where it's valuable, but is it valuable enough? Like, for example, and it depends on who you ask, right? So if you were selling electric blankets, yes, it gets cold at night in Las Vegas, but it doesn't get electric blanket cold. But if you're in Moscow, Russia, maybe it does get electric blanket cold. People would buy it. So you have to think about the market that you're selling to, and also, is it valuable enough? For me, knife sharpeners are not valuable enough, because I would just throw away the knives and buy a new set. She would throw away the knives and buy a new set. Maybe there are those who wouldn't, and those who wouldn't throw away the knife and buy a new set, I'm assuming they have very expensive knives. That might be a small market. So you want to think about these things. Do you want to appeal to a small market or a big market? And remember, when you're appealing to a small market, you can charge a premium price generally because you're selling a luxury product, but it's harder to market because it's very few of these people. So it's harder to reach them and identify them, and it's more expensive often. So yeah, there you go. You dropped the link for biography. Fantastic. St. Key running belt is now listed for you. Fantastic. Yes. While you, oh yeah, that is a good point. You can get your whole set while you're checking out the running belt with by St. Key. You can also check out the mouth guard by Major Minded Soul. You can check out the hand wraps as well and get everything you need for your athletics and your health. Giovanni comes in by Cashapp, writes a little more tuition. Thank you for this live. Absolutely. Truly a pleasure. It's always nice to be able to interface with real hustlers. You dig? Who'd you drop that link for? Biography? Are you biography?
Yes, it's Tawan Pratt. Dang,
Okay.
I'm really on with the Satan the Sinner, the one and only. You know,
You out here.
I want to tell you that you really my idol for real. Like, I be saying that all the time. They be like, I'm the one and only, because I really am the one and only. There's only one of me and there's only one of you. Like,
That's a true story.
And damn, I just want to say it's an honor to be here right now. Like, I feel like I'm talking to you are a celebrity. I'm not gonna lie. How you came from just the slums to where you are now, you definitely an idol in my eyes. But like, yeah, I'm really looking forward to you connecting me with Joshua. I'm really just trying. I didn't know none of that. I'm just really trying to learn cybersecurity, get the skills, get compensated for my competence, and just really out here put the work in. Right now, I'm at work right now doing security. You know, got to get that mayan. You know what I'm saying? That's the new word for money out here, mayan. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah. So
yeah, you know what? You're gonna like Joshua because you know he's straightforward, he's legit, so you're gonna appreciate him. And also, Nick went through his program, so the captain out here in St. City, so he's a FIA. So Nick went through his program, got a job. He's earning well, living well, talking about traveling. I like to hear that. So yeah, absolutely. We'll link you up. Do we have his email address? What? So you have his information. Okay. Cool. Okay, so she's forwarding your information to Joshua right now. So we're gonna have you tapped in ASAP. Yeah.
And you know what's crazy? You told. Oh, go ahead.
No, please go ahead.
It's crazy you say he was in the military because I was the guy, if you recall, on the Fresh and Fit podcast. I was the guy that donated. That was talking about the military. I got ADHD, and then you thought they was going to explain it, but then you explained it, and then you answered my question for them. Yeah, that was me. And the crazy thing, I was going to join the military for cybersecurity. The thing is, because the school thing, I'm more of a hands-on person. I'm starting to realize that. And like the school thing is more like theoretical. Like, I know that I have a hard time when it comes to theoretical things. Like, I'm more of a hands-on person, physical, like labor.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, knowing that, I know that military will be a great option for me. At the same time, you can't really choose the card that you dealt. You know, life, you get the card that you dealt. You only can play with the card you dealt. So I was just winging it. School was there, going to school. My grandpa paid for my financial aid, you know, taking advantage of that. Military was thinking about that, but the ADHD, that came up. They all messed up my stuff on there. But yeah, so then I was in school, and then I came across that training program through Instagram because I was looking at a DM, and then I was going to do the training program and do it that way. I talked to somebody on the phone. They said, gave me a deal, $355. Was going to just do that because I'm really just trying to get out here and get this money for real. But I didn't know no other options. I'm just seeing it and like, hey, you know, I did do my research though. Before I ain't started, but I did do my research. I seen the YouTube videos, how a couple people went from doing regular jobs, making 100, 250,000, 500,000, things like that. I've seen the videos, but again, it's coming from somebody that don't have experience. So of course, it looks
Yeah.
good to me.
Yeah,
So
he had it looking real shiny. He had it looking real shiny, bruh. So I could definitely see how he was scamming because even once we pulled up his LinkedIn, it seems like he's running a corporation with a lot of employees, but he's listing his students as employees. But the most important thing that I really like that you said is that school isn't for you. And that's a very wise position because sometimes people are like, oh, if I just get through the school for this, then I like the job. Hell nah. Like the job is similar to the school usually, right? I remember when I was going through, I was about to go into law school. And I was like, damn, this is boring as shit. Like doing all of this particular kind of study for the LSAT. And then people are like, yeah, well, when you're a lawyer, it's a lot of reading. I was like, damn, word. I thought you was just in the courtroom. Like if the glove doesn't fit, you must have quit. Like I thought you was just saying clever shit in the courtroom. But really, it's a lot of reading. It's a lot of this background kind of study. So what I would recommend for you is if you're more of a physical, tactile person, then you want to get a job to where you can get paid the most for what you have to lay your hands on. So for example, every time you take a car to like an exotic dealership to get, like, you're going to get your Lambo repaired, you're going to get the Rolls Royce worked on, those mechanics are making serious money because they're specialists in a very rare car or a very expensive car. So mechanics, electricians, these are the kind of things you might consider because it might be a better fit. Now, one thing I can tell you for sure is what Joshua does, and he'll be able to tell you better than I do. But another saint, I don't know if he wants me to say his name, but another saint who's also very solid, very hardworking guy. He came from the professional personal training background. He's going through studying to get that certification right now. And Nick already got it. The other guy's going through right now, but it's rigorous. You hear me? It's real study. And he's really having to grind with the studying. Now, me, similar to yourself, see, I'm good at school, but I never liked it. I'm good at school, but I didn't like it though. You feel me? So that's why I didn't decide to do a lot more of it. As soon as I was done, I got up out of there. And if I could do it again, I probably wouldn't do it again. So I know that that's not the way that I like to do my business. I don't want to be sitting at a desk like hunched over doing this all day. Like that's not what makes me feel happy. If you can figure that out early and line up jobs that make sense for how you actually enjoy getting work done, you're going to be in a good position. In fact, one of the guys I did a consultation with, and I hope you can one day get connected with him. He's actually doing security too. I think we got a lot of guys doing security, but he's doing security too. And right now he's working on creating his own security company. So he could basically send out guys as bodyguards and things like that. And that's a win, bruh. So there's a lot of different ways to move. So one thing I do recommend, we're going to connect you with Joshua so you could hear that out. I think you should also connect with the other saint who's going through the process just to hear what the study side is like, because you might not even want to do that, and then make some decisions from there.
definitely. I appreciate that. Like when you realize like it's so many things out here that you could do, it kind of gets overwhelming for the fact that it's so many ways you could get out here and get paid. Like you could really be paid out here. And it's like, for me, I just know, like, did you ever feel like when you was growing up, like you was meant to be great? Like I be in a lot of situations where a lot of opportunities be given to me, where it's like a lot of people not as fortunate as me to be in these situations. And it's just like, I know I have it, like it's there, like it's so close yet, but so far.
Right. Yeah, I feel you on that one. One thing I could tell you for sure is I remember my grandmother had got me this like remote control car. It was a Jag. You hear me? It was like this green Jaguar. I used to look at that joint. I'm like, I'm gonna be rolling some stuff like this. I already know. And so for sure, I knew that I was gonna win. But one thing I knew for damn sure is that I couldn't live like the other people around me were living. I couldn't think like them. I couldn't behave like them. And that's the key, is actually getting the work in. And if you have faith, you're going to continue to actually do the work. If you have the faith, like if you really believe. But some people say they believe, but they don't really believe. And this is how you know. Look at the number of people that's watching this segment. You heard me? This segment is specifically about making money, right? But if I turn around and did a segment that was about how to get a bitch, man, it'd be a lot more people watching. But if you ask everybody on the segment about how to get abroad, do you want to be rich? They would all say yes, but they don't really feel like that. They say it, but they don't really feel it. They don't believe it's possible. So you'll see what's real for people based on how they move and what their actual actions are. So as long as your actions line up with what you're saying, you're gonna get there.
And I just wanna. I know you got a whole thing, so I don't want to take too much time. I just got one more thing. Actually, I got two jobs. I
Okay.
work 5 days a week, but I got two jobs.
Mhm.
The other job I work on a weekday. Um, I actually got the job from, like I said, the opportunities. I was going somewhere else, seen a young cat. He was walking, he was doing security, had seen his coat. So I was like, hey, networking myself. Hey, my name's Twan Pratt. I got my swords license, yada yada yada. He connected me to his boss, and the crazy thing is, me and his boss is the same age. Like he's
Right.
he's 22 and I'm 22, and it's
Right.
like I be seeing him roll up. I got this security uniform on. I be seeing him roll up with the suits. I'm like, damn. I see him roll up with the Chrysler. I got
Right.
my little, old car 2007. My confidence say otherwise.
Right. Right.
Um, but yeah, just it makes me want to better myself. Like I see him, and the fact that we the same age, and he was telling me that he just outworked everybody. Because when I did the interview, we did it outside. He was telling me he outworked everybody. He was networking with everybody in the room. Just being more of everybody, more of what everybody wasn't, basically. And that's how he got to that position. And like seeing that, when as though we the same age, it really like know that I can go places. Like
Right.
it'd be the little things like that that like really like wow, like I'm so close but yet so far. So it's like,
You know
but
what? That's true. Close and far. That's true because you can break through really quickly in as much as even like cats in this YouTube game. Like I remember when I went on Fresh and Fit, I think they had like 17,000 subscribers, and then like they had a meteoric rise within a very short amount of time. Now, granted, it still probably for them felt like a lot of time and work, maybe like it was a year or 2 years, but what's a year or 2 years if you get to ride Rolls Royce now, right? Like what's a year or 2 years if you get to ride Lambos, right? And that's the key. So when you look back, it feels short. When you're in it, it feels long and hard. But when you look back, you're like, damn, that was kind of quick. That was kind of easy. Like now I'm good. Like I can never go below a certain level now. Cause even if a wealthy person says that they're broke, that doesn't mean they have no money. If a person is what they're like, oh man, I'm broke. That might mean that like their money's tied up for a little bit, or they only sitting on 40,000 cash, But if a broke person say they broke, like that mean they asked about to get evicted, like things change. So like once you get your knowledge together, you'll never be able to fall below a certain level because you got money machines. You have your money in different things that are going to support you and take care of you. But it was a pleasure to meet you, brethren. Keep me updated with the success, and we already got you plugged in. So definitely tap in with those saints. They're good people.
thank you. I appreciate that. It's all love. Peace to the saints, man.
Peace to the saints. Keyshawn, what'd he do? Man, these boys, these every last one of them is in their clubhouse right now, huh? Every last one of them doing a scary movie scene, huh? I feel like they're about to turn on a flashlight under their face and tell a scary story. They all over here making s'mores and shit. These niggas all in the same room with sleeping bags and shit. Yo, Keyshawn, absolutely. Congrats on that first product. The running belt is a phenomenal product. For you guys who haven't had the running belt, I actually got mine, what was that, like 3 years ago? My running belt lasted for 3 years. It's crazy. It's a phenomenal product. If you're going on a jog, you need somewhere to hold your iPad or your AirPods and your phone. You're going to want the running and as well as your keys. You're going to want to get this product. I'm absolutely going to get it. And can you drop that link in the chat if you haven't already? Talk to me, brethren.
Thank you, Saint. I'm actually, I was about to go on a date. Well, I am still, but like I had turned off the live, and the StreamYard link was sent to me, so I just joined. I didn't know if you like
Oh,
but I appreciate you promoting the product. Thank you.
oh no, I got you. It's a good product, so I'm happy to promote it. Okay, so you actually about to head to a date right now?
Yeah, but I'm in the car trying to fix my radio, like, cause
Got
she upstairs. And...
Oh, she upstairs right now. That's what's up. All right, man. Just don't take her to cheesecake.
She taking me up, and then I'm
Hey.
paying for the dinner, though. I ain't gonna cap, but she taking me
all
up.
right. Wait, when you say she's taking you out, does that mean she driving?
Oh no.
Well, how's she taking you out if you paying?
No, she paying. She paying for the first event. Then I just told her I'd cover the second thing.
Okay, fair enough. That's love. That's what's up. She's putting in a contribution, and that's always good. That lets you know she's more serious and invested. You heard me? When it's easy for a chick to just show up and get free stuff, so that lets you know she's not out here in these streets too much. That's beautiful. That's good to hear, brethren. Anything I can answer for you before you hop off?
No, session, running shoes coming soon. Boxing shoes coming soon.
Absolutely.
They don't know when.
How soon?
December 25th, around Christmas range. So.
Oh, okay. So they need to save at least $100 some, so they set that aside so they can make that order.
Yeah, they're $123.99.
Okay.
And then the bundle coming is gonna be $139.99. It's gonna be a good bundle. Sprint Spar bundle.
That's a good bundle. And especially if you think that you are boxing training, you must be running. So they definitely gonna need that running belt if they get in the boxing shoes. All right. Peace to the Saints.
Absolutely. Peace to Saints.
Shout out to the ballers. Toronto 2 a.m. writes, thank you. What? Okay, fantastic. He writes, thank you for these type of live streams. I'm running into a problem with a hat I just designed. Okay, this is interesting. I have a small YouTube following I'm looking to sell to, but I'm not getting any sales. It get like that. Do you have any advice? Looking to book a consultation soon. Okay, let's talk about it.
It really get like that.
Yeah, you take that off screen. Peace and Saints, how are you?
How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, indeed. How you doing today? First of all, I appreciate you for doing this live stream for sure.
Absolutely. I appreciate you turning on the goddamn lights, man.
Indeed. So I just made a hat. I can show you right now. Let me show you.
Yeah. Let's see what you got.
And I
did you drop the link for it?
I didn't drop the link.
Yeah, drop that link in the chat for us.
Okay, let me see.
Or matter of fact, nah, do this. Tell me what the link is. I'm gonna type it in.
All right, so it's just toronto2am.co. toronto2am.co. And I got a question about like these manufacturers too. I don't know if I'm being like, if they just want to make some more money off of like little things that I'm ignorant about or what's going on.
Okay. All right, cool. So I got that. Nice.
And then my YouTube, because I figure like I get about maybe close to 200,000 views a month. So I figure I can at least get like 2% of that to you know what I'm saying, buy this hat. It's only like $40. Like I can do something.
Okay, let's look at product real quick. So let's look at product and then we'll take your question. All right, so here's your site. So clicked it. We got the T on the red hat. Going down. We got a couple views on it. Looks like we might have, okay, there we go. So it looks like we got some good stitching on the front. 2 a.m. on the side. Let's see if it's a fitted.
Yeah, it's a fitted for sure. I didn't show the back though. I don't have a picture of the back of the hat on there.
Okay. Yeah, so I think there's a couple of things. So one, from a business standpoint, some questions you didn't ask me, but I'm gonna just tell you anyways. And mind you, I grew up on fitteds, man. Like y'all just starting to mess with this right here. I grew up on fitteds, bro. Like, I mean, I'm talking about like motherfuckers used to have like 30, 40 fitteds, like in real life, not pretend, like 30, 40 fitteds, like Mitchell and Ness shit, throwback shit, crazy shit, all colors. And the thing about fitteds, I can't even remember right now what size I wore, like a 7.5, 7 5/8. I don't even remember. But the challenge with fitteds is one, sizing. People have to actually know their size. So that's a sales issue for you as a businessman. So that's why the snapbacks are such a great thing for the seller side, because you could sell that shit to anybody, big head ass. So that's number one. People have to know their actual size. So that's a barrier to the sale. And then number two, you started off with maybe it's your brand color, but it's also an unusual color. Now, granted, my brand colors are red, black, and white, right? Okay. Now that allows me to transition between the three of them. And we know the ones that are going to sell the best is black. Now you're selling an actual red hat. Now I grew up in Pasadena, so that's fine. But you grew up in some other places. It's not a color you just want to be sporting. And even so, red is more of a strong fashion color or fashion statement. So generally, I always recommend people who are doing products, especially fashion products, you want to start off with black, navy blue, or gray. Black, navy blue, or gray, like those very basic colors. So maybe, I don't know if this is your brand color or just you wanted some pop, but that's a little harder of a place to start. So that's number one. So your two impediments right now, you don't have to change this. You don't have to fix this. This is just me letting you know. Number one, it's a fitted hat. I used to own like 30 to 40 fitteds, and I don't even know my size anymore. So that's a problem. If I want to order right now, I feel like I might order the wrong size. So I wouldn't order. So that's number one. Then number two, the color. I actually like red, obviously, because like my brand colors are red. So I would get it. But most people, they tend to go black, gray, navy blue because they're simple. So those are two issues. Then number three, your storefront doesn't look good, but it doesn't need to look good because you're selling it from your YouTube. So you're just giving them a link anyways that goes direct to product. So that doesn't even matter. So now you want to look at – go ahead.
I was going to ask you, do you think I should even sell a hat to like a YouTube audience? Because I got like different type of ages. So I don't know if a different product might be ideal.
Let's look at your channel real quick. Okay. Is the channel just youtube.com/Toronto2am?
Indeed.
All right. So let me see if I can actually get that. Okay. Let's see. All right. Is that
all right, we ready, y'all. Let's get it, man. I'm sorry for the delayed time. I know I've been.
All right. Let's just see what it says it's about. Give me a second. I want to figure out what your channel is about. So your banner says most authentic. Okay, so I'm assuming you're being authentic about something. I thought there was like an about button supposed to be here.
They took it away recently too.
I don't know what the hell that button is gone. Okay, so it says once we were warriors, American reacts. I guess you're reacting to a movie there. I'm just gonna scroll here, reacting to a documentary. I guess you react to movies.
Movies, many things, different type of videos. Like I kind of go off of the comments, but it's just a whole. It's not really one type of video, right?
Okay,
cool. Random things.
So the reason I ask you is because generally when you're selling merch or fashion products, here's a really important thing to understand in the fashion business, which I don't think is a good business. Just side note, I don't think the fashion business is a good business. All right, so I don't know what country you're in or what city you're in, but I'm assuming you probably have like some forks and knives and spoons that you eat with.
Yep.
That's what's up. Me too.
I do.
Okay, so what brand are your forks and knives and spoons?
I don't know. I don't know.
Exactly. I don't know. I have gold forks and knives and spoons, like in real life. Like my forks, spoons, and knives are actually gold. I don't even know what brand they are. So I spent extra money to get the gold ones, but I don't know what brand they are. Now, conversely, your hoodie, what brand is that?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
Word. That's impressive. Okay, now let me give you one. Now let me give you the kicker. Your shoes, what brand are those?
Nike.
Yeah. Have you ever bought any shoes recently that you just didn't know the brand of at all?
No.
Nah, yeah. So pretty much there's some things that are heavily brand dependent, like shoes and fashion tend to be one of those things. You generally are going to know the brand of it. Your forks and knives, like nobody ever knows the brands of their forks and knives unless they're like a very wealthy person or like a woman who's all about culinary arts. So I say that to say this. Some things, the brand is irrelevant. The quality is relevant. The utility is relevant. The color is relevant. The print is relevant. Brand doesn't matter at all with forks and knives. With clothing, with shoes, the brand is extraordinarily important. So number one, you have to have brand when you're creating fashion. You want it to be successful. So now let's talk about your brand. When I advise people on how to create brand, which brand usually follows product. In this case, you are the product because you're the YouTuber. That being the case, I say, what are 3 things you want to represent?
Are you asking me that question?
I'll give you an example so you could think while I'm giving you an example, right? All right. So Marquett Burton, what are 3 things you want to represent? Okay, Marquette, number one, wants to represent authenticity. So just realness. Boom. I want to represent realness. I want to represent goodness, morality, right? I want to represent playerism. You dig? So like he's real, he's honest, and he's a super player. And you see me consistently representing that through my brand, right? So when you are able to clearly and consistently convey certain values, that goes into your brand. So when I wear your hat, like when people see that hat, it might not have the brand significance of Jordan or Nike, but it has a specific brand significance of 2 a.m. and whatever your brand represents. So whether it's humor or fill in the blank. So what are your 3 things that you would say your brand should represent?
So number one, authenticity. That's why the banner said most authentic. That was gonna be like my brand kind of. That was gonna be the main look. I was gonna have a shirt saying most authentic, and then the little logo that was under the banner, or right under most authentic, that's Dos AM. So the dos is for, that's 2 in Spanish. I didn't get that much feedback on that. The red hat I got a lot of feedback on. So it was gonna be, so I would say authenticity is one. 2, self-respect.
Okay.
And I really can't come up with a third off the top of the head right now. I can't really tell you. But those 2 for sure.
Yeah, and 2 is good enough. You never want to go more than 3. 2 is good enough. Great. So then you got the hat with the T. Now here's the interesting thing, just from a brand standpoint. When I look at the hat with the T, I'm like, all right, and let me go back to the product. Damn, I think I closed that tab. But anyways, the hat with the T on it, when I look at it, I'm like, okay, maybe this is a sports team, right? And it could be because you, like, for example, in my neighborhood, they used to wear the hat with a P on it because it signifies not the Pirates, that's what it's actually really for, but it signifies a local gang, so it just got the P on it. Now, hat with a T similarly could be a sports team. Conversely, with your brand, I feel like it would have made more sense if it said 2 a.m. on it. You feel me?
Yeah.
Just from a uniqueness standpoint, to where I could look at it and I'm not like, oh, is that like the Texas Sun Devils or like some team that I can't think of right now? But if it had the 2 a.m., I'm like, that's for sure not a team. Like, that's some other shit. So I think that'd have been an interesting thing. So I say that to say, from a product standpoint, a black hat where it says 2 a.m. on it, I think would be way colder and people would be way more inclined to fuck with it. So that's number 1. Okay. Now, number 2, you had questions on these manufacturers. So talk to me.
So on the manufacturer, okay.
She says that products sell better when you wear them shits, and she said you ain't wearing that goddamn hat in none of them videos.
Indeed. Okay. You know what? So have you dealt with this in your early stages of selling products? Like, I don't want to do it too much. I kind of don't want to promote it too much for whatever reason. I don't know why it's like that, but I feel weird whenever I just.
You don't want to be too salesy. That's real talk. But here's the thing: like, if you got good drip, you feel me? You got good drip. At some point, people are gonna be watching the video and they're like, that sweatshirt is colder than a bitch. And that's when you just drop the link in the chat. You feel me? So if the quality of the drip is there, people gonna ask about the drip. That's the key right there. You ain't got to say nothing about it because you're right. You sound too salesy. And so when you just got it on deck, it's product placement. They get to see it a lot and they might be like, oh, like that might be like relevant. Now, here's the thing. You wearing that red hat with the T, I wouldn't even think that was your drip. Even though your name starts with a T, but if you wearing a hat with the 2 a.m., I'm like, that's your drip for sure.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. Yeah. So with the manufacturers, what's really going on? So on the inquiry, it says the prices should be between 2.5 to 7.5 per unit.
Right.
With the minimum order quantity of 100. So whenever I give them my design and everything, they're saying they're boosting it to 8.5. They're boosting it to 8.5, and they're saying only because of my design. But as you can see, my design is not too much going on. It's just, and then it's just this. And I actually,
because it's 3 places. I got you. Yeah.
Okay, that's what it is.
Yeah. Nah, they're not bullshitting you. So because you got it in those 3 different, or actually 4 locations, you got the front, the back, and both sides, right?
Okay. Yep. That's it.
Yeah. That's what's getting you. And 8.5 is not bad because you retailing at $40.
Right.
So out the door, you probably, let's just say you getting hit for $10 per unit on production costs, and then you getting hit for $10 on shipping to the consumer. So it's like $20 down the drain in terms of cost of goods and shipping. And you get about, 19, $18 in profit per unit. That's not bad at all. You can rock with that. Those red hats, that's the kind of thing that, you might have to hold on to them. And as you grow the following, you're going to be able to get those out the door. But remember, simplicity is the key in all things. So like you got the motherfucking 4 different stitches, like 4 different sewed logos on that mug. Bro, that's a lot. That's a lot going on, bro. Put that 2 a.m. on the front of a black hat. People say you can wear black with everything, which is a goddamn lie. But since they think that's true, black is the way to go. 2 a.m. on the front. You might put something on the back because nobody wants to turn their shit backwards and it's just blank. You heard me? Like it's a random ass blank hat. So you might put the 2 a.m. on the back, or you might put the T on the back. You heard me? Like whatever you're trying to do, put something simple. Call it a day. I think you get, and then wear the motherfucker like we just mentioned. I think you can get off of. Yeah, but don't throw away the red ones. I would damn sure produce the black ones because the thing is this: before you're really well known, because there are people that be in Canada like with my shit on, and people like, oh, you listen to the Saint in the Center? Be like, yes, I do. Like enough people like will recognize my shit that they can get some juice off of that. But at the stage that your channel is at, I be saying crazy shit. People fuck with me and won't even subscribe to my shit because I just say such crazy shit. But the thing is that at the subscriber count that you're at right now, if you put a 2 a.m. on that bitch, it's going to look cold. You dig? Nobody even has to know about the channel. So people can wear it just because this shit look cold. And that's why you don't want to have too much stuff on it.
Okay. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the help. I really appreciate that.
Absolutely. Sure. And you're a smart man. I'm sure you're going to be very successful. And I'm wishing you continued success. Keep us updated.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely. Peace of the Saints. Shout out to Jose. And Jose rocks with us for a long time. He was at conferences and all that good stuff. Baller alert. Indeed. Shout out to the ballers out here. Jose writes, peace to the saints. Indeed. Peace to the saints. Limitless writes, peace to the saints. Hope all is well. Baller up. The ballers and showed up, huh? The ballers and showed up. They outside today. Shout out to the ballers. Peace to the saints. Hope all is well, Marquett. I have 3 products I want to converse with you about on a console. That's what I like to hear. This man said, I got 3 of them things. Come through then, bruh. What info do I need to have on the products for you to have the most constructive feedback? I have measurements and some materials for one of my ideas. Yeah. See, you're going to perform best in life when you don't make anything into too heavy a lift, right? So take what you got, set up the consultation, and let's get rocking and rolling, because I trust that you'll have enough for us to get into it. But, I don't want this to feel like it's like a heavy lift, like you need to come and research everything, because the worst thing in the world is to do a whole bunch of research on something that's irrelevant. And when I say irrelevant, you might get into the consultation. I say, hey, summarize the 3 product ideas. You summarize the 3 and I say, okay, look, man, those 2 garbage. Respectfully, those 2 are not going to make you money. This one, this is the winner. Let's double down on this one and let's use this consultation to work out how you can get product ready to go, how you can get to market and get you some bread. So we're going to use most of the consultation to work on that one product. So there's no need for you to come into the consultation having done a bunch of research on 2 products that potentially will not be the ones that you ultimately work on. So don't make it a heavy lift. Book your consultation, show up with what you got, and we'll talk through it. Shout out to Jeremy. He writes, I also been interested in starting a product-based business, but haven't had the capital. I'm saving up to move to NYC. I need to have a consultation with you on product, hopefully after the move. Absolutely. And we got a lot of saints in NYC. Definitely tap in with Justin, the executive over there. Very good guy, very talented, creative. He'll be a good guy to plug in with. We got a lot of guys over there. Arthur, all the folks. Absolutely. They meet up for dinner all the time. So it's a beautiful thing. May I acknowledge T comes in by Cashapp. Shout out to T, always supporting the work. Had the pleasure of meeting as well. Hector Smart. Oh yeah. The young man who's in accounting. Yeah, that might be a good one for him to check out, the how to invest in real estate. Actually, this is perfect. This session that Hector bought is entitled How to Invest in Real Estate Property and Commercial Real Estate. You said what? Yeah, Michael. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Michael This is the one. Drop the link for him. And shout out to Cole. He writes, keep doing these lives. Peace to the saints. Sir, yes, sir. Caught up there? Fantastic. Now, I love to hear from hustlers and people earning. And, you know, when I say you got to push your business to success or push it to failure, but remember to tweak in the process. And in the tech business, we call it pivoting, which is to make those minor adjustments. And just like with 2 a.m. who just got off, you know, I think he has some great opportunity, honestly. Like that kind of a small tweak is like you went from a red hat to a black hat. You just opened up a significant market. Because see me, I'm a wild boy. I'll wear a red hat. Most people won't wear a red hat, but they'll damn sure wear a black hat. So just a little tweak like that, you changed it from the T to the 2 a.m. Now your hats are flying off the shelves. Those are the things that you want to do that are smart. So shout out to the folks who are willing to make the adjustments to find success. It's out there. You just got to locate it. You dig? Shout out to Giovanni. Oh, with the baller alert. He writes, let's ball out. Peace to the saints. Comment in the chat. So Gio has a comment in the chat. It might be suppressed. She doesn't see it right now, but go ahead and pop it in if anyone else sees Gio's comment. Okay, fantastic. He writes, peace to the saints. Shout out to the big homie. Men, send in what you owe. A like, a comment, a share. Saint also booked a consultation with you a few weeks ago. Indeed. Are we going to go through with the product idea? Absolutely. And I actually just ordered some samples on your behalf. So it's a pair of shorts, a product which is, in this case, it has the shorts with the compression short underneath it and a pocket for the cell phone. So it's basically like the ultimate athletic short. I should have the sample coming in within 15 to 20 days. It takes a while from China. I got it in 2 different colors. I got it in a black. I got it in a dark gray and 2 different sizes. Got it in a medium and got it in a large. And those are the things we want to test out. And then what we'll do once we verify that the quality is there, we'll pop a logo on it. We'll probably take a poll, see if they want the Janus logo or the S logo. We'll pop a logo on it. It'll be the new uniform short. And then we'll rock from there. So yes, that'll be the one. And shout out to all the saints who invest in themselves so that they can start earning. Like I'm really proud of Saint Flows. I mean, Saint Flows did the gold on gold version of this bad boy right here. You dig? In this one, I'm enjoying too much. He did the gold on gold. He only has, I think, 17 left. You hear me? So, oh, by the way, no more coming. So the goal, once it's done, is done. So if you want one of those, go ahead and get after it. It's at mdblabel.com. What's that? I just did. Yeah. And mind you, I can't hear you through my headphones most of the time if you're wondering. So we'll definitely have to plug you in next time. The ballers have assembled. The parking lot filled with the Rolls, the Bentleys, the Lambos, the Guineas. He writes, very much appreciated. Definitely we will put to use Peace of the Saints. Absolutely. I might have to mess around and figure out my hat size. Next time we're in the mall, remind me to put on a hat so I can figure. I ain't had a fitted in years. It might make me feel some kind of way. I was super hood when I used to wear fitteds. You know, like when Superman put on his cape, he just turned. When Batman put on his uniform, he turned from Bruce Wayne to Batman. Something come over him. It might get like that. They might not need to see me in a fitted. Anyways. So fools often say that women wait at the finish line and gather around the winners. That's a lie. Everyone waits at the finish line and gathers around the winners. Very few people are going to be there with you to build a foundation. Very few people want to invest in you when you don't have anything to show. Very few people are going to believe in your idea. Very few people are going to support you. Everyone's going to wait until you win. And then they're going to be like, well, you're smart. I always knew you were going to win. You're ambitious. You're a hustler. I always knew you were going to be successful. And you're like, Nah, bro, you didn't know that. You didn't feel that way. Nah, you did not feel that way until I made a bunch of money, and now you're like all on my meat, like you always knew. Nah, you didn't always know. There's just a couple people who really gonna rock with you based off of your character from the beginning. And here's the thing: if nobody rocks with you, that's fine. That's fine. So you just got to go ahead and get it done. The manosphere lies and claims that it's just the women waiting at the finish line to choose the winners. No. When people get across that finish line and everyone knows they're a winner, everyone all of a sudden wants to be around them. Just like I told you when I was sitting in that parking lot and a neighbor I'd seen many times, he never really says much. And then he see me in the whip and he's like, oh, that's my favorite car. Oh, hey, man, what's your name? Like, nah, bro, like kill it. Knock that off, man. This is why I never go to the events in this building because like I'm not trying to slap fives and be buddy with y'all because this is where y'all live. This is just where my studio is. You dig? So we don't need to slap fives. Everyone wants to choose the winners and be cool with the winners at the end of the race. That's not just women. No one wants to build a foundation with you. And you'd be a wise person to get in at the foundation level. That's why I was telling the gentleman that, hey, if you're doing an accounting degree and you're not pleased with your job, and he's with Capital One, that's a great company. It's a big company. There's a lot of room and there's a lot of opportunity to learn corporate culture and get in their innovation lab, which I had showed him the link for that. I hope he looks into it. But say he was with a rinky-dink company, which he's not. He's with a great company. If he's with a rinky-dink company, he'd be wise to say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and take my accounting skills, go into a tech startup that, has, less than 5 employees, but it's in a bleeding edge field and they got a good product and they have a reasonable revenue model. And I'm going to make some contributions there. And the reason you would do that is because you come in early enough at the foundation and you're going to be appreciated. You might even get some equity in the business and no one wants to come in at the foundation. That's how you get in and you become the 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 guy, 5th guy in a company called Facebook, Apple, and all this other stuff. Because here's the thing, when Zuckerberg was him and his buddy and him and the Winklevoss twins, and it was like less than 5 people, nobody believed at that stage. When it was Steve Jobs and Wozniak, nobody believed at that level. So you go in and you put faith in people who are real hustlers and have good product. You have to be able to see talent and see people who are clever and know how to work hard. And more importantly, they know how to make adjustments. That's what being successful in a marketplace is about, making adjustments. You turn the hat from red to black. You turn the logo from a T to a 2 a.m. You turn the logo from 4 different places where you got stitching to just 2. You've now reduced the cost of the product significantly. Those are the adjustments that turn you into a winner. You dig?
Here's a perfect example. You're talking about Botswana. Someone wrote this. Read it.
Yeah, that Miss Andre, and this is not a shirt. This is actually a sweatshirt. You dig? So it's perfect for the winter, which is what we're in right now.
And then you drop the link in the chat.
Exactly. And boom, there's the link. Boss up. Boss up. By the way, shout out to the ballers. That's the second baller alert. So he really balling, not fake balling, because there'd be fake ballers these days. Shout out to the real ballers. He writes, thank you, Marquett. This is Limitless Aspirations. Thank you, Marquett. I tend to overthink, and overanalyze, I definitely appreciate the advice. I look forward to making a barefoot training shoe. Okay, that's what's up. I'll be inclined to cop something like that. I got a number of different running shoe types because I run a lot. And I'm about to increase my running as well, especially with this running belt coming out. I might as well, it's time to up it back up, huh? It's time to up it back up. And he writes a barefoot training shoe, which is the main product I'm considering. Any advice? Well, a 0 drop barefoot running shoe, I think, is a reasonable product. Make sure that it doesn't look like a water shoe. You know what I'm talking about, those shoes that people wear when they're swimming? Yeah, make sure it doesn't look like a water shoe, reasonably stylish. Maybe do it in 2 different blues, like, 2-tone blues, darker blues. Make sure that the laces are high quality shoelaces. Runners often have issues with shoelaces, so make it high quality shoelaces. You'd be wise if it's those kind that you can pull and like use a little clip to kind of like tighten the shoe, so you don't actually even have to tie the shoes. And that's about it, man. Yeah, I say go ahead and get that product out. It should be reasonably quick to market because there's not a lot of signs between with barefoot running shoes, no matter what they'd like to claim. And I think it's an interesting concept, barefoot running shoes. And I personally don't find that they've really made the impact that I think they should have, or that they once had when you had the what was it called? The 5-finger, the Vibrams or Vibrams. They made an outsole for the barefoot running shoe. And I think they started getting sued. Honestly, I think they might have I don't think they went out of business, but I think they went from being a shoe company to just making outsoles for other shoes. But it's worth a go. I'd love to see it. Can you start getting some food on deck? Miles writes, peace of the saints. I had to show support for this important live on self-improvement for us men in a real way. He writes, my one question is, why do the majority of Black American males struggle to be elite? That's quite a big question. I keep seeing Black males like T.I.'s son, born into wealth, wanting to be a hoodster and a gangster. Yeah, isn't that funny? So, number one, T.I.'s son has a multitude of problems. Good Lord. And we should have known T.I.'s son was going to look like that, because look at T.I.'s wife. Ooh, God, I want to take that back. That wasn't right. No, that was not right. I take that back. I take that back. Strike that from the record. T.I., I apologize. Tiny, I apologize. Don't ever talk about anyone's wife, especially when they haven't said anything bad to you. That was not right. I feel bad. Anyways, the ball looked like a goddamn alien, an albino alien. That being the case, he is going to struggle for relevance and for notoriety and respect and to be appealing to women. So he's going to go out of his way to do anything he can to be sexually appealing. And one thing that we know is not going to be his go-to is being like good looking. He's not going to be like the Denzel Washington Black guy, right? So he's going to go to the tough guy side. That's another way to get respect and stimulate attraction from the female, right? They're attracted to the pretty boy or the tough guy, and he went for the tough guy side of things because he ain't have a chance at the pretty boy side. And mind you, I say, be suspicious of ugly people and broke people. Now, with regards to Black American males, why do they struggle to be elite? Well, there is a lot of depth there, but in short, without giving a historically grounded answer, in short, their biggest issue is knowledge of self. Most of these Black males in our society today are white supremacists, which is to say they don't believe that Black is capable, Black is any good. They do believe in their own inferiority. Certainly they, have an not inherent, but an inbred, a learned sense that whites are intellectually superior, more capable, more timely, things like that, more civil. And, in some ways, the evidence appears to show this. And so in their lack of self-knowledge, when you do not know the self, when you don't know who you are as an individual, but more importantly, on a biological, scientific level, what does it really mean to be Black? And then on a historical level, what are the accomplishments of your people? Have the Black peoples of the earth ever been great? When you're not familiar with that, then you feel as though you're a part of a people who have only had enslavement as a history and who are doomed to only be successful at certain things that you've observed us be successful at on a consistent basis, that being athletics and entertainment. And so they have a lack of examples and a lack of character education, and poor parenting, come from bad families. And that's why we see this kind of behavior. And that is why we must spread the ism. The ism saves lives. Thank you for that question. And, there are a lot of hoteps who would love to go deep into, slavery. It's like, we don't need to go that deep. We don't need to go that deep. Shout to Mr. Alam. He writes, peace to the saints. Truly appreciate it. I also acknowledge Vernell sends in tuition via Cash App. Much respect. This is the segment people appreciate. The hustlers, you dig? The winners. This is the segment for the winners. Most important thing, last piece I have for you is marketing and visibility is key. Oh, yeah. And you know what? Another piece is you really got to want to win. So let's first go to that. You really got to want to win piece. I'm not going to name any names, but there have been more than one individual who has worked with me, and they create a product and they put the product on the market, and they create multiple products, because that's the name of the game, is try and try again. That's the name of the game. Created multiple products, and they've created successful products. So they got a product, it's selling well, and then they decide to change to a new product. And I'm like, whoa. This is what we've been looking for. You got a product and it's making you money. Now, instead of getting a new product or a different product, no, we need to figure out how to multiply what we're doing here. So if you're making $400 a month in revenue from this product, now we just need to figure out, well, how do we make $1,000 a month? And then once we figure that out, then how do we make 10,000? Once we figure that out, how do we make 100,000? We need to scale this product up until we reach market saturation. And by the time you saturate the market, you know, like $40-30 million to your name. So let's go deep in this one product. But the problem is focus, consistency, dedication. They want to try a new product. I'm like, damn, you just got this first one that's working. Why are we going to a new product? Let's make this one really good. Let's work this product. And that's the problem, is that lack of focus. And it even happens to me. So for example, we sold out all of the brown backpack briefcase, and then we did a black backpack briefcase. Low key, partly because I wanted a black backpack briefcase. Like, for example, I'm wearing this outfit. It's going to go great with the black backpack. So it was great for me. But really, we could have continued selling the brown backpack briefcase infinitely. You feel me? Till we saturated the market, till we couldn't sell anymore. We could have sold a bunch more. I like myself to do limited runs, but I'm not really in the fashion business. I'm not trying to make that my main business. But you guys who are, you know, just getting into product-based business, you get a successful product, you need to push that thing all the way through. And when you start being successful, don't shoot yourself in the foot. When you start to be successful, be thankful, because this is what we've been looking for. And then figure out, how do you grow that? The problem is that people start winning, and then we realize they don't really want to win. Marquett, what are you talking about? People start winning, and then we realize they don't really want to win. They got a product that's making money, then they want to try a new product. What is going on in your rabbit brain? I kid you not, in Vegas, you get to learn a lot about human nature in the casino. Human nature is on display. I've seen situations where you got someone, now people are weird and superstitious. I really don't love to be around average people. I observe them every now and then. I've seen situations where you'll have a dumb broad will walk up to a craps table, or even a guy. Let's take a guy as an example. Walk up to a craps table. He'll get the dice, and maybe he has like $50, which if you are going to gamble with $50, you probably shouldn't gamble. You should probably just save your money. And so he starts throwing the dice, and he wins money. And he just picks up the dice and he throws them again, and he wins money. He picks them up again, he throws them again, he wins the money. And so now he's winning money. So now the fourth time he picks up the dice, what does he do? Starts blowing on the dice, throws the dice, and then he loses all this money. My first thought in my head is like, you idiot. You picked up the dice, you threw it, you won money. You picked up the dice, you threw it, you won money. You picked up the dice, you threw it, you won money. You picked up the dice, and now you're blowing on the dice? Now, in reality, scientifically speaking, in terms of physics, in terms of science, blowing on the dice should not impact the outcome, theoretically. But if you have found a way to win, why would you alter that at all? That's because psychologically you're a self-saboteur. You don't love yourself. You don't really want to win. You were winning, you were being successful, and then you changed something unnecessarily. And when you change something unnecessarily, you caused yourself to lose. That's what you did, because you obviously did not want to win. Or what else I'll observe? You see some dumb broad go up to the craps table with her friends, and gives her $50. She gets the dice. She throws the dice. She's winning money, picks up the dice, throws them again. She's winning money, picks up the dice, throws them again. She's being successful, picks up the dice, throws them again. She's winning money, picks up the dice, and she's about to throw them. And then she turns to one of the dealers and she says, "Hey, how do you lose? Like, when do you lose?" And then they're like, "Oh, you lose when you throw the 7." She's like, "Oh, okay." And then she throws the dice, 7, out, lose. Everyone loses their money. Now, what does that teach you? Focus. Energy flows where focus goes. Why do you need to know how you lose? Like, who's thinking about losing right now? Shouldn't you be thinking about winning? And why in the midst of winning are you asking, how do you lose? Wouldn't that be something you ask before you start the game? Or maybe you would just wait until you lose. As long as they're paying you money, why are we asking stupid questions? Let them keep paying you money. This is the psychology of the average human. The average human is a loser at heart. In here where it counts, they're a loser. In here where it counts, they don't really want to win. I don't like to be around them. They're losers. Poor people are poor for a reason. They do stupid stuff. The guy's throwing the dice. All of a sudden, he want to blow on the dice. Girl's throwing the dice. All of a sudden, she asks, how do you lose? They don't want to win. They don't want to win. Because I tell you the difference. Someone who wanted to win, I would never go walk up to, like, people all the time tell me to gamble, do this, do that, do that. No, I don't want to gamble. I don't want to learn how to play poker. Marquett Burton has no clue how to play poker. So many people I know play poker. They always invite me. They tell me to learn how. No, I don't want to learn. I don't want to learn how to play poker. People always say, oh, the odds on Baccarat are great. Learn how to play Baccarat. I don't want to play Baccarat. I don't want to learn how to gamble. I'm good. Here's the thing. If I were to walk up to a Baccarat table, I tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to walk up to a Baccarat gambling table and then sit there and ask the dealer, hey, how do you play this game? Or ask somebody next to me who's a random idiot, hey, how do I play this game? I'm not going to put my money at risk and ask strangers or ask people who are not financially well off how to play the game. I'm going to research at home in privacy, peace, and comfort with great focus. And if I make the dumb decision to gamble and go play Baccarat, when I show up to the table, I'm going to play like I've been doing it for 10 years. They're going to look at me like, nah, it ain't his first time. Why? Because money's on the line. And more importantly for me, winning is at stake. And guess what? I always want to win. I don't care if we playing hopscotch. I want to win at it. You heard me? I always want to win. And I don't even want to start if I can't win. It's about the win for me, the victory. Most people, they don't want to win. They won't do what it takes to be victorious. They're playing games. They're not serious out here. So you ain't going to win. You ain't got a chance to win. You're going into an environment where it's designed for you to lose, and you're asking an employee of the casino. The casino is designed to take your money. You're asking an employee of the casino how to play the game. Now, is the employee going to lie to you? No, they're not. They're going to tell you how to play, but they ain't telling you how to win, because if they knew how to win, they wouldn't be working as a casino dealer. They didn't tell you how to win. They told you how to play. Those are different things. Winning and playing are different. And people often are not paying attention in life. I'm always paying attention. No. He writes, Peace of the Saints. Oh, shout out. He got the man and woman, or the man and woman. He got the Saint Center boxing gloves. Those are cold as hell. And I really wish we could sell some more of those, but we sold all of them. I really wish we do, because those were cold as hell. Two-tone boxing gloves. Come on now. He writes, Peace of Saints. How can I tell if I'm celebrating my achievements too much? How many hours a week should I be working if I want to have a balance of work, relationships, and health? I live by myself and no car. Well, number one, you don't want to have a balance of these things. You want to have an integration of these things. A minimum number of hours you should work per week is 40 hours. That's a minimum. That's called full time. So that's a minimum. And you should work up to as many hours as you feel comfortable for your success and your good health and your future and your security. The more, the better. I usually like to do it so that I work until I can't work anymore. And then I socialize in those hours that I'm still alert and awake, not sleepy, not tired, but burnt out from work. So I've worked as much as I can to the point of I feel like I'm like burnt out for the day, not in general, but just for the day. And then I'm willing to socialize because I'm still alert, awake, not sleepy, not tired. That's how I do it. And if you think you're celebrating too much, then maybe you are, but don't forget to celebrate. You must celebrate. Now, as I say, people tend to not be aware, and awareness is critical. We call it being cognizant, being able to see what's going on, being intellectually aware. It's important. I was in a situation recently. I was at a resort. I was there in the midst of a number of persons who were very wealthy. We're kind of like in a VIP area. I was the youngest person there by far. And an older gentleman, older white guy who's clearly very successful as well. He had introduced himself And, we have a brief conversation, general conversation. And, the staff is there doing what they do, serving. And I'm familiar with the staff. He's familiar with the staff. And I think I maybe even seen him once or twice before. But anyways, eventually I asked him a personal question. And I asked him this question, even though we don't know one another well, but he can see that I'm a younger man, so he can respect me asking him for guidance and advice. And I know that he's successful. He knows that I'm successful. He's on my trajectory, right? So like he's in a position that makes sense within my life. I never ask for advice from people who have less money than I do. I would not do that. I don't ask for advice from people who have less than I do. I would never even consider such a thing. So I asked him for this piece of advice because he has years on me. Probably got like 30, 40 years on me of age. And so I asked him the advice and he answered really quickly. He knew the answer to this question. I asked the right person. I asked him, he answered it immediately, and he was very certain about his answer. Then eventually he leaves, and a staff member who was there tending to both of us, he says to me, he says, Marquett, everyone's different. So, that's his answer. He's like, but my answer, he's like, I'm 60 years old. My answer is this. And I listened to him because I am a hearer of a good word. But I was kind of like, it didn't occur to you that I've seen you many times. I've never asked you this one time ever. And I observed that you're significantly older than me. I've never asked you this question because I wanted to ask someone who has more money than I do. So I was waiting, and here he is. And I asked him because he's very, 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 very wealthy, and he's on my trajectory. So I asked someone that's more like me on my trajectory. I didn't tell this guy that, but I was like kind of shocked that he volunteered the advice, which doesn't mean it was bad advice necessarily, but I have to question it because he's not on my trajectory. But moreover, it shows maybe a lack of intellectual awareness of why I asked him that question, the guy I asked instead of the guy who volunteered the information. And those are the things that will separate us, our intellectual awareness. Can we read people? Can we interpret people? Can we see what's going on? Can we see what time it is? Can we figure things out without people telling us blatantly? Are we noticing subtle signs? That makes a major difference. Like, for example, I did a deal, an international deal, and I spoke of this before. Spent a lot of money with a woman, right? Spent a lot of money doing a business deal. And, she charged me for an orange juice. I think it was like $2, $3, $4. I can't remember. So I spent thousands of dollars with this woman, thousands. And then tens of thousands. There you go. Tens of thousands with this woman, tens of thousands. And so she gave me a bill that included, it was an invoice for the tens of thousands that I'd spent with her, and then an orange juice for $4. As soon as I saw that orange juice was on there, I was like, I'm never spending a penny with you ever again in life. I can't trust you. I cannot trust you. You are too money hungry. Like, if you needed to collect that $4, now mind you, I spent tens of thousands. I don't care about $4. $4 means nothing. And it. We both know it means nothing to me. $4 means nothing, but it's such a slap in the face. But it speaks of your character that you're such a money grubbing little animal that you need every penny. So that lets me know you'll never do me a favor. You'll never do me a favor in business. So why would I do business with you? You're never going to give me a discount because you're collecting $4 that are irrelevant. So I'll never get a discount. You'll never do me a favor. And if we ever come into a disagreement, you're going to try to do everything to recover money. You're going to do everything to steal money from me. So I can't trust you. And so as soon as that contract was done, I was like, okay, as soon as we're done doing business, never again. This person is rotten. They have no soul and no brain, more importantly. A smart person, even if they're not a good person, they might at least be a smart person. They're like, yeah, I'll give them a free orange juice. Just spent tens of thousands of dollars with me. Shit, pack this man up 4 orange juices to go. Yeah, and can I get you a taxi? Send my driver to take him back home. Take my car, send my driver, take him back home. Yeah, absolutely. He spent tens of thousands of dollars with me. Just met me 48 hours ago and spent tens of thousands of dollars. That's smart business. This person's obviously a fool, which I don't trust them at all for that very reason of that kind of behavior. What can you do? And these are the things, again, intellectual awareness. You need to be aware. Pay attention, folks. Awareness and paying attention, oh, it'll save you. It'll save you heartbreak. It'll save you losing money. It'll save you getting cheated. It will save so much. Shout out to Brandon. He just got conference 2 footage, which includes lessons on entrepreneurship, specifically product-based business, marketing, sales, also relationships and leadership. That's a lot of information. For $79, that's a lot of information. Shout out to David with the baller alert. Came in by Cash App. He writes, entering 2024 debt-free. Peace of the saints. Thankful for you, sir. Absolutely. I appreciate that. Thank you, David. And congratulations. Debt-free feels good. Not to owe anyone anything. That's very good. Via PayPal. Gensley writes, 3-hour stream. Are we 3 hours in? Indeed. He writes, I got to support. I ended up not going through with the property, but I learned a lot with regard to what I want. And that's the key. It's all a process. That's why even when people do product-based business, I say, yeah, let's get through the full cycle of it. Whether it's successful or unsuccessful doesn't matter. Let's run it back on another product. We're going to figure this out. That's life. You figure it out. So it's a beautiful thing. It's not like school. In school, when the test comes, you got to pass the motherfucker the first time. There's no redo. Life is the opposite. You get to keep redoing it. Like if you try to make $1 million and you're not successful this year, does that mean you can't try again? Hell no. I'm trying every day. Goddamn it. I'm trying every day. He writes, but I learned a lot with regards to what I want. Nothing helps you sleep soundly like walking away from a bad deal. Tuition. I hear that, bruh. Absolutely. I agree with you there. I agree wholeheartedly. And that's a boss move as well. See, people don't know nothing about that. That's a boss move. That's top-notch stuff. You've tended to the food? Fantastic. Yes, the last piece is, oh yeah, I got so much game on this business stuff. I could go for years, but one thing I want you all to listen, I hope one particular saint is listening right now. You know, he stopped selling a particular item on Amazon, which is fine, but I'm assuming that Amazon item has reviews on that listing. So if you're not going to sell that product and it has reviews on that listing, you have to realize that that listing has some value in it. So a real hustler is like, all right, I might not be selling this product anymore, but can I sell this listing to someone else? Is that possible? A real hustler is trying to sell whatever you can sell. You dig? And what I mean by that is this. You see, a hustler is like, all right, look, I could sell some orange juice, but I still got the orange left over that the juice is all squeezed out of, and I still got the peel. A real hustler is like, what can I do with this orange that has no juice in it? And can I sell the peel? Will anybody eat the peel? Maybe. So that's what a real hustler is always asking themselves is like, what can I sell? And that listing, even if you're not going to sell that product. So let's say on Amazon, you've been selling this lip balm for, 5 months and you got 10 reviews and they're good reviews. It's reasonably well reviewed and you don't plan to sell this lip balm any further. That's fine. But what if there's someone else who might want to sell lip balm and you can start them off with this listing that already has 5-star reviews or 4.5-star reviews? That's worth something. Heck yeah. So I'd gladly try to sell the listing to somebody. There's so many opportunities that we don't think of. We leave things on the table that are there for the taking. Shout out to the ballers. The ballers are here, aren't they? They've appeared. Baller alert. Greatest clips. Appears to be Jabrizi. Writes, how much money do you think is in the industry of curing loneliness in America? Well, cures have no money in them, right? I shouldn't say no, but they have very little money. Cures have very little money. Treatments have a lot of money. And it's been said by many conspiracy theorists and many business minds that, well, curing cancer or curing HIV/AIDS, well, that's not as profitable as treating cancer or treating HIV/AIDS, right? When you have a terminal illness, an illness that can last 30, 40 years and I can medicate you every day of your life for 3 decades, that's a lot of guaranteed income. Whereas if I give you a cure, then I only get paid one time instead of recurring revenue. And one thing we know for sure, and we know this because of Martin Shkreli was a great example of this, is that there's going to be price controls. If we found a cure to HIV/AIDS and the true market value of this cure, I mean, you're giving someone life, right? So, I mean, shit, that should be at least, in my opinion, probably at least 80,000, right? For the cure, 80,000 a head. But what's going to happen? Governments are going to get involved and they're going to put price controls on it. And they're going to say, you're denying people's right to life. This should be free to everybody. And then all of a sudden they're going to be charging some bullshit like $400, $500, which you could still make a bag, but you ain't about to make $1 trillion bag like you would have otherwise. And so instead, you know, people rather fleece you for the ongoing treatment. And so in as much as that's the case, we generally have treatments rather than cures. Human beings don't value the cure. They prefer the treatment. And human beings are ditzy, dim-witted, dishonest, and immature. And so that's why you find certain goofy things are more popular than the real deal. So I think curing loneliness can make some money, but treating loneliness can make a tremendous amount of money. So that's a keen insight. He writes, I've noticed this is an increasingly popular topic with no real solution. And that's the beauty of it, isn't it? There is a solution, but there's generally not a solution that people are willing to work to earn. So I think that, yes, making an investment in this area is a smart thing. And for those who actually do want to be a part of something among great men, not just among some men, but be among great men, that's why we have this thing of ours, Assassin. In fact, this Sunday, Sunday service, arrive at 12 p.m. if you're going to be here in person. And not only are we going to do Sunday service, we're going to do a workout afterwards. So we invite all of the saints in Saint City, or those who would like to drive in, come in at Assassin Black on Black, come in ready to work out. We're going to do our lecture Sunday service on self-improvement and spirituality. And then after that, we're going to get in a quick little workout, nothing crazy, just a little bit of light work, get you guys in shape. And those are great opportunities to, you know, be in contact with great men and, you know, and also great women as well. Also, because we even have a number of the saints who have met lady saints and have great relationships, long lasting relationships they've been in. What were you saying? Yeah, this Sunday, tomorrow, 12 noon. Be here. Carrying on. Last piece, marketing and visibility. Often we think we sometimes focus too much on product. Product's important. Marketing and visibility is even more important. You should have good product. You don't need great product, but you should have good product. But marketing and visibility, which is to say, you could have the most extraordinarily innovative, high quality product on the planet Earth, but if no one knows about your product, then no one's going to buy it. That's what marketing is. It's creating the awareness of your product, the visibility, so people know it exists. Then they can actually engage in that transaction and get you paid. So importantly, you have to have a voice, a platform to get your product out there, whether it's through running adverts on Instagram or using influencer marketing or whatever tactic you can deploy to get some visibility. So never forget about that piece, which is make a good product that has a unique value add that's reasonably simple, involves a clear revenue model, simple transaction, and then make sure that everyone knows about it. That's the important thing. Like, for example, this sweatshirt right here, dope sweatshirt. If no one knew that they could buy this at sasnbrand.com, SASNbrand.com, then we'd never convert any sales. We wouldn't be able to represent this out in the world and teach people the meaning of the word misandry, which means the hatred of men. Everyone knows the word misogyny. It's overly used, but this word they need to learn. But we have to see, well, I'm actually marketing this word as well, right? Because people need the word. But if no one knew that they could get this at sasnbrand.com, then it wouldn't ever sell, even if people thought it was a great, good looking sweatshirt. So visibility and marketing, people have to be aware. That's a critical component to convert. Shout out to the baller. Did he come in 3 times with a baller alert? Am I tripping? That's his 3rd baller alert. That's impressive. The record was what, 1,000? It was either like 999 or something like, or it was like 1,000. I forget if he did an angel number with it or something, but it's like basically 1,000, which we need to post that up because he does have the record. He does indeed have the record. Shout out to Limitless Aspirations. writes, thank you, sir. I'm a truck driver working 60 to 70 hours a week with inconsistent internet connections, and I'm off 2 days a week. I have 2 women I can trust to get tasks done on my behalf. That's good. Is product-based business right for my situation? Yeah, if you can lead well. Yeah, if you can lead and organize well. And women are generally competent. You hear me? They're generally competent. And if they're willing to work, put them to work, brethren. And that's the whole piece about being a businessman, a leader, is that you're one who operates systems, and systems you can operate remotely. You can operate that from a phone call. So once you get a good, simple business and a business system, and you've told those ladies what their roles are within this system, then you got action. So absolutely, you can get this done. I can somewhat trust. Okay, sorry, that is a key word. Yes, it get like that, brethren. So if that's the case,